Jack.
That is fancy.
Yeah.
And I'm Colleen. And welcome to Yeat, Yeat, Don't Tell Me. Let's see. All right. This is our bi-weekly. Actually, Jack, is it bi-weekly or bi-monthly if we do it every other week?
Let's just stick to every other week. This is you're already hurting my head.
All right. Our amalgamation of trivia shows that combines Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, the popular NPR show, Jeopardy, and Stump Trivia that, of course, some of us have gone, one or two of us might have gone to the Port Tavern and participated in. This week's a little different. We have invited the most awesome Bethany Groff-DeRoe, regional site administrator with Historic New England, based at the Spencer Pierce Little Farm. She is also a self-proclaimed history nerd and all-around great gal. And then she'll tell us a little bit more about her too. Say hey, Beth.
Hey, everybody.
And Bethany actually put the questions together, which is why I'm wearing this. It's like the Muse meditation headband, but they tell me since it messes with your brain, it makes you smarter. So I needed it for Bethany's questions today.
So, send me any feedback that you have about these horrifying questions. So it's all my fault. Anything goes wrong, it's my fault.
They're not that horrifying. So let's see. Just a quick thing on how we run the show. We do 4 questions, then we have a halftime, and then we do 4 more questions, and there are 2 winners. One is for bragging rights, whoever actually gets the most questions correct. And we do that on the honor system. So maybe grab a piece of paper and just keep a chicken scratch as to whether you got the question right or wrong. And then the actual winner of the prize, which Bethany will describe at halftime, is chosen by random, and we'll discuss that at the end of the show. So I'm thinking, without further ado, we should get going because it is 12:04. We're much later than usual. So I am going to launch question 1. And right now, question 1. Which one of the following is not the name of a business operated during the 20th century at the Swett Isley House, the first property acquired by the newly established Society for the Preservation of New England Antiquities in 1911? That was a mouthful. A, 4 High Road, B, the Blue Anchor, C, the Blue Elephant, or D, the Blue Bonnet. Please select one answer. And
now, wait a minute, Bethany, you're going to have to be the judge on this. Is it Isley or Ilsley?
It is Ilsley.
Okay.
And I blame those bloody brothers for making everyone say Isley. But it is the Swett Ilsley House.
Swett Ilsley.
But, as long as we all know what we're talking about, I'm sure they don't mind.
Well, I listen to NPR's Puzzle Master Sunday mornings. I'm waiting for the day when he says, give us the word that has 3 L's in it and 1 volume. One non-consonant.
Ready.
Yeah. And then I'll know that answer. Ilsley.
Okay, so Jack, I can't see anybody who's voting. You're going to have to end the poll.
I got them. Okay, we got them. So there's a lot of people watching and they're afraid to answer, but we're going to end the poll right now and share the results. And there you have it. Wow.
It was harder than I thought it would be.
Oh, you're tough. And what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is the Blue Bonnet. The Swett Ilsley House was acquired in 1911. It was the first property acquired by what was called SPNEA, now called Historic New England, which was founded in 1910. In 1911, it was threatened with possible removal or development, and it was purchased in conjunction with the last family member who lived there. During the 20th century, as many historic sites do, we rented out the site for a variety of endeavors. Many folks actually still in town remember 4 High Road. It was a tea house, which is very popular. Before that, it did a brief stint as the Blue Anchor and the Blue Elephant, which were a combination tea house and antique shop. So it has a long and rich life, but it was never the Blue Bonnet.
Awesome.
I thought Four High Road was because four highs. Hi, 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 hi. No.
I will also
During
tell
the
you that
parade.
we also, of course, have Tales and Ales there, which is our great fun tavern night. So we could have put that one in there too, also known as Tales
All
and
right.
Ales.
Okay.
Let's launch question 2, Jack. You're going to read it, okay?
Okay, next question is Newburyport's Captain Offen Boardman, who later lived at the Spencer Pierce Little Farm, became a local legend when he did the following in one day. He swam to Ipswich and back, or captured 2 pirate ships in Ipswich Bay, or drank 6 bottles of Ipswich ale, or preached a sermon in Raleigh that some claim could be heard in Ipswich. So
I
put
see
your
a whole Ipswich thing going on here.
there's we're sneaking in some Ipswich ale advertising. I don't know.
All right. Full disclosure, my husband, James Duro, is the operations manager at Ipswich Ale, but that has nothing to do with this. Well, maybe it does. It's a possible answer.
See that?
Hey, people are weighing in. And
Jack, you'll have to call it, as you know. You tell me.
I'm looking at it. The last one just came in. Anyone else? Oh my God, we almost had a social, and a social being everybody got the right answer, but no, one person messed it up for all of us.
Just to keep it interesting.
In the poll?
I'm gonna.
Jack, we're gonna call it.
Yeah, I did. I'm sharing results. Can you see it?
No, I can't see anything.
I am
Sorry.
sharing results now. There we go. There. I have to click again. Can you see it?
No. No. I got bumped off. Susan's on, and I can't.
Okay, I'll call it. So it's like 6 people said captured 2 British ships in Ipswich Bay, and 1 person said swam to Ipswich and back. And the correct answer is, Bethany,
captured 2 British ships in Ipswich Bay. That was supposed to be a little bit tricky because a lot of people that know that story don't necessarily know that once you cross the bar, you are technically in Ipswich Bay. But Ipswich, Captain Offen Boardman did capture 2 British ships. It was on January 15th, 1776. And they were not pirate ships. They were British ships that were supplying troops in Boston. And he captured the brig Suki, and later on that day, captured a much larger ship called the Friends, and brought them both into Newburyport under, it was very tricky. The way he brought the Friends in is a really funny story. He pretended that he was a pilot and he was going to guide them into Boston Harbor, but he brought them to Newburyport instead, threw off his cape and said, "You're my prisoner." So
what a hero.
He's a heck of a guy. One of my favorites.
What a hero.
All right.
Okay, question number 3.
All right. I'm going to launch it?
Yep.
Okay. Question 3. Catherine and Edward Little, who came to the Spencer Pierce Little Farm in 1851 and purchased the farm in 1861, are the great-great-grandparents of which Massachusetts current political figure? Governor Charlie Baker, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh, Senator Elizabeth Warren, or Congressman Seth Moulton? Well, I'll tell you what, I've been hearing an awful lot from Governor Baker and Mayor Walsh during this whole pandemic, huh? Elizabeth Warren and Congressman Moulton, not so much. But it's kind of an interesting little connection to the Spencer Pierce Little Farm. And Bethany, while people are still weighing in, is it just me, or is Pierce spelt differently than I would normally think to spell Pierce?
That is an excellent question or point. Daniel Pierce himself actually spelled his own name in at least 3 different recorded ways. Spelling was not really standardized in the 17th and early 18th century. It was spelled, you would spell a thing using the letters that made the sound that you were looking for. So Pierce is spelled multiple ways. Daniel Pierce spelled his own name P-E-I more often than he spelled it P-I-E. So when the decision was made to standardize the name, that was what we chose. And that is actually how his name is spelled on his tombstone as well.
So basically that means every class really isn't or wasn't an English class.
Correct. Okay. Well, it's actually a really interesting topic to me because people didn't spell. They sounded out letters. So you have the same people spelling words differently depending on how they were using it in a sentence. It's a very interesting.
And we're calling it 6 people have voted. Hey, come on. There's a prize you folks can win. There's like 12 people on the call and only 6 people are playing.
15.
And so we'll share results. Want me to click the share?
Yes, please.
I got it. Oh man, Governor Charlie Baker seems to got 4 out of the 6 votes, and Congressman Seth Moulton came in second with 2 votes, and the correct answer was
Governor Charlie Baker. Woo!
Yay.
I
Wow.
will say I put Seth Moulton in there as a little bit of a red herring because of course Moulton is a old, established Newbury and Newburyport name, but Governor Baker is the great great grandson of Catherine and Edward Little. Their son, of course now I'm going to blank on it. Their son Henry. Okay, I'm going to forget. I don't have it in front of me. Anyway, he was the founder of the Institution for Savings and the Ipswich Bank. His daughter married the first Charles Baker, and their son is Charlie Baker's father.
Wow. Cool.
Very cool. Okay,
right.
question number 4. Last one before halftime.
4, and we're going to do it just before halftime. Exactly. So have at it, Jack.
The Museum of Old Newbury's house is federal style in its architecture. The uppermost floor is often referred to as the bun, the top knot, the attic, or the crest.
Now I can tell you something about that. I'm not going to say the word, but the name of it is actually designed to complement all the lines of the house so that when you look at it, it makes a beautiful, visually pleasing structure. Did you know that?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. And it is a visually pleasing structure, quite frankly. Built in, do we remember, Jack? 1808.
1808? Oh, cool.
Yes.
Well, yeah,
Nice
about the
round
time
word.
that whole Fruit Street redevelopment project was happening around the same time, all those same houses.
Yeah, the Fruit Street redevelopment project.
around early 1800s. Okay, I think, oh yeah, somebody joined in. We got 8 votes. I'm gonna end the polling and share the results. And it looks like Top Knot got 4 out of the 8, and the others kind of evenly spread. 2 people voted for Crest. The correct answer was
The top knot.
the Top Knot. Wow, that's
Yeah.
a really unusual. I would have gone for attic. I had no idea on this one. But
I also have to say, you know, bun has to do with Yeat, the whole title.
we weren't gonna go there. Some
into
people
that
get
side
very
of it.
upset. They're saying
You gotta tell me if there's things I'm not allowed to say. But anyway.
we got accused of using improper language. We go there.
And of course, we all know the Crest is a toothpaste. Oh wait, wrong spelling. Oh, but you know what? I sounded it out. Okay. It's halftime, which means, Bethany, tell us a little bit real quick about Historic New England. I think it's 4 properties you have up here, correct?
We have 5.
5,
There are
okay.
4 in Newbury. So I am the regional site administrator for Historic New England for the North Shore, which means that I oversee a region that includes 11 properties, all the way from Saugus to Amesbury. But I am at the Spencer Pierce Little Farm, and we manage directly the 4 properties in Newbury, which are the Spencer Pierce Little Farm, the Coffin House, the Dole Little House, and the Sweat Ilsley House. So those are all early 17th or early 18th century properties. Rocky Hill Meeting House in Amesbury is later at 1785. And they are amazing properties preserved for perpetuity by a wonderful organization that has been around since 1910 and works very hard to make sure that properties from across the spectrum of architectural styles and economic levels are preserved. So we have 20th century properties. We have the Gropius House in Lincoln, where there's something for everyone. It's hard to visit anything right now, but if you're interested in becoming a member, we're very glad to have any support we can have during this time. So go to historicnewengland.org and learn about everything we do. Oldest, largest regional preservation organization in the country. So check us out.
So tell
And-
me, what is the prize? Because I understand
Oh.
that you've generously donated our prize for today.
I have. Here it is, coming in for landing. This is a book that I wrote. This is a brief history of Old Newbury. It was a labor of love. The 17th and early 18th century in this town are like a soap opera nonstop. It's just wonderful stuff. So I was looking for something fairly compact. It's a fairly easy read to sell in our shop, and there wasn't anything that had been published since the courier books around the turn of the century, which are a little bit expensive and heavy. So here you go. It's I have to say, it was so much fun to write, and I'm thrilled to be able to pass it on to one of you.
And when did you
pass it on to someone else?
Stephanie, when did you write that?
Gosh, 2006, I think. It's, fortunately, nothing else has happened in the 17th and early 18th century in Newbury so far.
And it'll be a signed copy, right?
Ooh.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
if you're local, I'll even deliver it.
Wow. Well, that's pretty tempting. That's very nice.
Well, you can also buy one if you want on my website, which is bethanygroffderoe.com.
Awesome.
So even if you don't win, I will still deliver a book to you.
Cool. Jack, I noticed you have your Customs House shirt on. Right. And did I notice on social media that you guys have a new logo?
We do. Oh my God, this is probably not it. I'm gonna get fired.
No.
But yeah, no, we got a whole new logo, branding, websites coming. It's gonna be really cool.
And what's the website going to be? Is it still cchs.org?
CustomHouseMaritimeMuseum.org or the THECHMM.org, but CustomHouseMaritimeMuseum.org.
We'll always get you there.
Probably about a week it'll be the website. About the time they open up the museum.
Okay, cool. And then for my own self-promotion on behalf of the Museum of Old Newbury, keep your eye out on social media because we're going to start promoting our 41st annual virtual garden tour. So all the gardeners out there, we got a little something for you. It's not quite the same because of this pandemic, but we think you'll be pretty happy and excited about it. So visit us at newburyhistory.org.
Awesome.
Let's get right to question 5, all right?
Everybody's keeping track of their own scores, so we do the bragging rights at the end.
Right. Oh, yeah. I forgot to ask that. If you guys think of it, drop something into the chat box where you're at for how many correct at this point, and we'll do a final accounting at the end of the show. But okay, question 5 is coming up. Which of the following is not a beloved farm animal from the MSPCA who lived at the Spencer Pierce Little Farm and whose death was announced in our own Newburyport Daily News? Was it A, Schooner the horse, B, Larry the rooster, C, Dave the pig, or D, Socrates the turkey? I think that's awesome.
We love our animals at the Spencer Pierce Little Farm. We are a foster farm for the MSPCA, so we take care of farm animals for their whole lives. So sometimes you come down to the farm and see a very elderly sheep, or right now a very elderly horse, and we take care of them and free up some space so the MSPCA can help other animals as well.
That's awesome.
And some of these,
you have a new goat too.
we do. We have a little baby comet who has her own cam. She has her own comet cam, which has been getting, I hear, and certainly for me, but I hear that the camera has been getting a lot of people through this isolation, watching little baby comet do her thing. There's nothing cuter than a baby goat.
Very nice. Jack,
Cool.
How are the answers coming in? You want to call it?
Okay, we're going to call it. Get your last answer in quickly, and then we're sharing results. Socrates the turkey got it with 3 votes. And the correct answer was?
The correct answer is Larry the rooster. Socrates the turkey was one of our first animals at the farm, and he was beloved. He was an amazing animal. He loved children, and he would chase groups of children, which sounds scary, but it wasn't, because he just wanted to be with them. So as children would move around the farm on field trips, he would follow along behind them. Schooner the horse passed away several years ago. He was also much loved. And of course, Dave the pig, who weighed in at 1,000 pounds, he was sort of an icon of the farm, and we all loved him very much. We did have Rusty the rooster, but Larry the rooster never was at the farm. So,
Very good.
Dave the pig at 1,000 pounds. I think that's about what I'm weighing in after this.
Dave the pig was quite a guy. He was much loved by all of us. And there are still all of those animals except a turkey at the farm today.
Wow.
Awesome.
I'm going to launch question 6, Jack, and you are on.
Richard Dole, the first settler of Newbury, whose descendant built the Dole Little House on the Parker River, appeared in the Essex County Quarterly Court records for the following: a bar fight at Stephen Sweat's Tavern in 1664, or was he a witness in a case for lying by accused witch John Godfrey in May of 1649, or was he cutting down Francis Plummer's hedge in 1662, or was it all of the above? This guy, he's definitely a Newburyport, Old Newbury citizen. He should be hanging down at the Thirsty Whale with the rest of us.
Well, I like the hedge one. That's kind of comical that was something that actually got him. So if you appear in the quarterly court records, you've been arrested or cited. What would make you appear in the court records?
Well, I'll tell you, first of all, that of course Richard Dole was one of several first settlers of Newbury. He's not the only first settler of Newbury, in case anyone is looking at the question and wondering if there was only one initial settler. He was part of the first group. But the quarterly court records, which still exists, by the way, and is at the Peabody Essex in their archives, is so valuable to historians because people went to court for almost everything. So it is a record of people who, fights between neighbors, something that was very modest, that didn't really require an arrest, but it required a decision. But it also was a place where you went to get a license to keep a tavern or build a mill. And it also was a place where women, servants, people whose voice typically does not appear in the record, in the official record, it was a place where their witness statements were recorded verbatim. So sometimes the only record that we have of a person that was here in the 17th century is because they were in a court case, and not necessarily a criminal one. It could be that they were witnessing a will, or that they were involved in a custody case, or it's a wonderful resource.
Cool. Jack, want to call it?
Yeah, we're calling it, and we'll share the results. And it looks like all of the above got the most votes, with cutting down the hedge was second, and the bar fight was third. And what was the correct answers?
The correct answer is all of the above.
Wow.
Richard Dole appeared in the Essex County Quarterly Court many, many, many times. And actually, he was one of the upstanding citizens of the town. He was convicted of cutting down Francis Plummer's hedge. It was a neighborly dispute. The bar fight at Stephen Sweat's Tavern is of course, Stephen Sweat built what is now the Sweat-Ilsley House. It's one of my favorite court records of all time. And Richard Dole testified in that there was a fight, and somebody said to him, shut up or I'm going to throw this pot at your head. And the next line in the record is, when I awoke, I was all blood but my eyes.
Wow.
So somebody threw a pot at his head.
Wow.
And it ended up in court records.
I'm going in for question 7 because we're at 12:26 here. We got to stick to our half hour, people. Here we go. Question 7. The Coffin House at 1416 High Road is known for the following. It remained in the same family from 1678 until it was given to Historic New England, SPNEA, in 1929. It was built from wood salvaged from a shipwreck. It was the home of Lucretia Coffin Mott, famed Quaker and abolitionist, or it was moved to its current location by 20 teams of oxen from its original location on Newbury's Lower Green. Wow. God, any of these seem possible. Though I do have to know, how do they get SPNEA out of Historic New England?
Well, SPNEA is the Society for the Preservation of New England Antiquities, and that is actually still our legal name. Historic New England is our brand. You know how that is. It's a little easier for people to say. We were constantly having people say Society for the Prevention of New England Antiquities, which of course is not what we're going for. So we go by Historic New England, but our legal identity is SPNEA.
Got it. Okay. Jack, how are our results?
Okay. Well, let's see. We got 5 people that have voted. We've been hitting 7, 6 or 7. We're going to call it to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to make your choice and end the polling. Share the results. And oh, by the way, at the halftime, we had somebody that had all 4 right. Their name is iPad, which makes them really smart because of an iPad.
Ichabod Pad is their name.
And so what, I'm sorry, so
share results, here we go. And so yeah, the remainder of the same family got the most votes with Lucretia Mott, and 20 teams of oxen tied for second. What was it, Bethany?
I love the 20 teams of oxen answer, but it is in fact that it stayed in the same family from the times it was built in 1678 until it was given to SPNEA. So that is the correct answer. So you all are wicked smart.
All right, let's get to our last question because we only got 2 minutes left and we got to get our winners announced. I'm going to launch it and go, Jack.
The Spencer Pierce Little Farm was so named in 1968 when the property became a National Historic Landmark. It has been many other names in its long history. Which of the following is not one of them? The Little Farm, the Garrison House, the Poor Farm, and John Spencer's Farm.
All right. Bethany, I vaguely recall you telling me that that there were many more than 4 names.
There are many more than 4 names, but we only get 4 choices here. So
what is the total count without giving anything away? What's the total count of names?
I think we came up with 13 at one point.
Wow.
You know, of course, if you think about any property that's been around for, 300 plus years, it's generally called by the name of the person that is most associated with it at the time. So that certainly changes over time.
So we're going to call the polling because everybody was really fast on polling this one. I'll share the results. It looks like the Garrison House got the most votes as not being a name it's been called, with the Poor Farm being a second. And what was it, Bethany?
What is it, Bethany?
The farm was never called the Poor Farm. The Poor Farm is actually where I live in West Newbury. I'm a descendant of the Poors. And it never acted as a poor farm either. There was a sort of apocryphal story about it being used as a garrison house during the Revolution. There's no evidence of that whatsoever, but that was popular briefly around the turn of the century. And you can often find postcards that refer to the Spencer Pierce Little Farm as the Garrison House.
Neat. All right, we're just about out of time. If everyone can post their correct answers from the how many out of 8 into chat, we will certainly announce our bragging rights winner. And then because we're really tight on time, we're thinking, or have already selected a number between 1 and 25. Closest to it in the chat without going over will win the personally signed book from Bethany about Newbury. So, wow. Al Husak is doing great. Camille, oh, she's giving her number. Got it. I'm like, how'd you get 16? Okay, let's see. Anyone else bringing some stuff into chat? We only have Al so far with 5 of 8.
And iPad got 5 of 8. I unmuted the mic so people could chime in with
with their info. That'd be
for
great.
sure.
Did you unmute, Jack? They're not.
Wait a minute. I thought I did, but it didn't do it. They are now unmuted.
And now they're coming in too with their
cool.
Voices.
But we got Al had 5 of 8, and iPad had 5 of 8. Anybody else had more than 5 of 8?
All right, so let's 4 for Sally.
Oh, Emily's iPad.
All right, so, hi there. We only have Camille in with a number. To get our winner, yep. We're kind of going over here.
Put a number in chat to do the random selection.
1 and 25, please.
So far, Al and Emily get bragging rights.
They do.
5 out of the 8. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Impressive.
Well done.
No one else is going for Bethany's book?
Just put a number in the chat and we'll randomly select based on the number we've pre-selected.
Yeah, nothing else is coming in.
I think
Okay,
everyone really wants Camille to have it.
I guess that's it.
Oh, wait a minute. Astrid put in 4. I got to stick up for my better.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought she meant 4 questions. All right. Okay. We are out of time. The winner is Camille. And yay! And Bethany, thank you so much, Jack. I think we're history.
I think we are. Thanks for coming, everybody. See you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye, everybody.
All right. See ya.
Thanks for coming on.